7:30 a.m. 103.9 FM, Jocks Huntsville. This is the Off the Bench College Football Show. I'm your host, Kelsey Up. Co-host Richie Jones sitting to my left.
Good morning.
And Pops is back.
What? Back again.
How was the Scuba Steve movie? Is it doing good?
Scuba Steve is awesome, and I'm doing Scuba Steve again this afternoon, but we're good, man.
So we got him for a couple hours this morning. We got time out of his busy day from filming Scuba Steve.
Pops is back.
Pops is back finally.
Back
and
again.
That also means that
got a haircut, looking fresh.
It does, yeah. That also means that the news hasn't stopped as we're still steadily flowing away. I think we're 56 days away from kickoff for Alabama and East Carolina.
49 from week 0.
Yes.
Dublin, Ireland.
So we are so close, and it's ready to be back. I think we're all feeling that itch toward, that itch gets a little scratchier at the end of summer, and we're nearing the last month, which is next week.
Oh, help me define this. Itch gets a little scratchier.
Yeah, itch gets a little scratchier.
Did
you get to use
that? Was weird the way you said it, but I understood it. You're basically saying that you already have a little bit of an itch, but it's
just getting stronger.
It's starting to spread.
Yeah,
and you need to scratch more.
You need to scratch more.
Yeah, you need to scratch more. There's more of an area, I guess.
Okay. Can we do the show live from Dublin, Ireland?
I think there's a lot of logistics we'd have to figure out from that. And we'd have to compete with, of course, the show that we already compete with on Saturday mornings. But yet we'd be in the same city as them.
That'd be awesome.
I'm looking for a problem. We get to go. Hear me out.
Cash flow.
We get to go to Ireland.
When we
get to see football.
When I find somebody to pay for it, we'll do it.
And we get to have a Guinness beer.
It sounds like a good time. You're trying to sell me. It's actually working.
If you're out there listening to us and you'd like to sponsor Off the Bench Goes to Ireland.
Yeah, so any Huntsville area peeps,
Lord, at this point, I'll take any Alaska peeps if you want to sponsor
Harvest peeps, any Harvest peeps out there.
Well, we will get there eventually. But as you said, we're still, 48 days away?
Yeah, we got plenty of time to make it happen.
Plenty of time to make it happen. Guys, if you want to hit us up on the show today, you can. You can hit us up on YouTube in the comments section right here. If you're on the radio side, you want to do that as well, you can hit us up on YouTube at Off the Bench CFB Show, or you can hit us up on Facebook at Off the Bench if you want to get it in here with us on the show today to discuss the many topics we have. First off, Alabama and Auburn have united against the Protect College Sports Act. Now, this dropped last weekend, and this has had a little bit of time to breathe, but they released a rare joint statement opposing the bill this last week. So we're going to discuss that a little bit more later. There's a big movement going on right now, and it was resolved as of this morning with the new College Football 27 video game. The movement was backed by a YouTuber called, his name is Bordeaux. He has really been rising over the last couple of years within the college football community. And the movement started with the hashtag EA Play Don't Pay.
Right.
Basically, EA College Football 27 added microtransactions, taking away a lot of the ability. We're going to go into that deeper as well later. NIL Go has rejected nearly $90 million in deals, so we're actually seeing some governance within the sport right now, which is rare. We'll go over that as well. But today, I wanted to start off.
I have a huge question when we get to that.
Okay, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
We'll get to it. I wanted to start off with what I believe going into next year, we're about to end the fantasy that Deion Sanders is actually a college football player coach.
Player coach.
Okay.
Not just a coach.
A college football playoff coach.
Playoff.
Oh, that's a big word. You said player coach.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he wasn't good with the players.
No. He's definitely a player's coach.
I'd argue that Deion Sanders is not a coach.
I agree.
Colorado coach?
I think he was a daddy ball guy, and his sons are.
That's okay. So we are.
Go ahead.
We're how many years removed of the Shador Sanders, Travis Hunter, Shiloh Sanders?
2 years.
Okay.
Year and a half
removed from that. Okay. Where does Colorado sit right now? What was their record last season?
Not great.
3-9.
Which I would put under the category of not great.
Okay.
And just think, at one point we wanted him in Alabama. We were like, yeah, bring Deion. He can recruit. I remember those conversations.
I'd take him as a cornerback coach.
he can recruit his son.
I take him as a position coach.
I wouldn't take him as the position coach at Alabama right now. We got the best defensive backfield in football.
Well, maybe not right now, but then I would have. But when you were transitioning from Nick Saban over to Kalen DeBoer, that would have been a really big name to bring in.
I think he's a distraction to the program.
He is now. Originally, when Colorado brought him in,
what happened? He was still a distraction.
It was a distraction, but it was a money-making distraction. How much did the University of Colorado, how much is Boulder better off now that Deion has spent the last couple of years there to coach the team?
I won't argue
that's
that.
Like, I will correct. I won't argue that, but you don't always, just because I hand you $1,000 doesn't mean you're $1,000 richer, and doesn't mean that you're better off with that $1,000.
No, but in the day and age of college football right now, I would argue that money is the most important thing in the sport right now. And money is making the world go round for a lot of these college football teams. Look at San Diego State over there. Look what they're doing with the newly rebuilt Pac-12 and how they're going to facilitate that with Boise State and try to make them a power conference. We're going to talk about that later too. But at the same time,
we're going to talk about who being a power conference?
The Pac-12. Are they a power conference or not?
There's not even a conference.
They are a conference. They just added how many teams? We're talking about it. We're going to talk about it. Anyways, though.
Not 12.
Deion being at Colorado in the long run, because of how important money is to the sport right now, is good for the program. Now, the question is right now, will he be the first major coach fired next year within college football? But there's a lot of names you got to think about here. Okay, we could see a Brett Venables fireable at Oklahoma. We could see a Dabo Swinney fired at Clemson. There's many things we could see around the country. But will Deion be the first shocker we see?
I don't think
he's kicked out of Boulder.
I don't think it'll be a shocker if it happens. I
right.
mean, when you repeatedly go 3-9 or 4-8 or whatever, and you have losing seasons. Now, I mean, I think Colorado would balance. Is it to put up the pros and cons of whether or not it's good to have Deion in town or not? I mean, you don't want a Deion Sanders upset at your program when he's been there for the last 4 or 5 years, okay? And what he brings to the table for Colorado, that community, everything that goes with it, you got to balance that.
Okay, here's my counterpoint, because I think I'm going to be I may be on the outside of on this one. When you bring in that kind of money and that kind of talent, it brings a lot of glitz and glamour with it, which brings a lot of spotlights. And light, in general, is usually the best disinfectant. And if you have a house that's not in a very good order, and you go in and turn all the lights on, you get to see how not in order it is, if I can word it that way. And so I think with Deion showing up in Colorado and it putting a spotlight on a university who is not prepared for that kind of spotlight, unlike Indiana, Kurt came in, put a spotlight on it. They went 16-0 last year. He is not some big name, big flashy prime time, Deion Neon Sanders, right? He's Google me guy. And so I'm afraid that what Colorado has done is they've taken some money today for people seeing behind the curtain tomorrow and how bad the program is with all of that money, with all of that fame, with all of that, spotlight on them. And they still went 3-9. So when it comes that Deion is gone, all these recruits are going to go, hey, not only do you no longer have the money, you no longer have the big name coach that might have hookups in the NFL and help me out, but even with him, you went 3-9. Why in the world would I come to your university now? And I think you've taken a short-term influx of money, not even gain, just an influx of money, because they're not bringing in the kind of money that Texas Tech has. They're not bringing in the kind of money that BYU has, that are teams that they have to compete with every year. That they've taken in a little bit of money for what is going to be and turn into everybody got to see how dirty the house actually was.
So, okay, so here's how you could approach this, right? We always say that it is better to have lived and learned, correct?
Love and lost.
Love and lost, lived and learned. Same thing, right? We always go approach about that of how it could have been, would have been, on how you live and learn and how you could have loved and lost.
Yep.
Okay. That's the big saying. It's what we all say about love. It's always what we say about us living, right? So the question that I would appear has is, it's always better to have done that. You have gone through this experience with Deion Sanders. You have brought in how much money in NIL with Travis Hunter, with Shedeur Sanders. I don't know what Julian Lewis is bringing in over there, but he's bringing in money as well. He's going to be in the mix for the starting quarterback over there this year. They have certain players with Deion there that they wouldn't have. You wouldn't get those 4 and 5 stars over to Colorado.
You're right.
Never would.
You're right about that, but they're going to leave the second he does.
Oh, yes, they will. I mean, this is a complete Deion Sanders program. There's no doubt about that.
If I could, and I may get, I got to be careful how I word this. You're saying it's always better to loved and lost.
Yes.
Well, what if this particular love that Colorado has presented has provided them a disease that is not curable because they loved the wrong one.
Okay, so when Deion was being brought into Colorado, they had the idea of, hey, he is going to be. We've seen what he did at Jackson State. He's bringing along his guys, his players. Right now, in the short term, they're living on clouds, on cloud 9 right now, because they thought they could be bringing in at the time the next Nick Saban type figure to the sport. That turned into Cignetti was that over in Indiana at the point in time. That's who they thought they had with Deion.
But what if that shows? Okay, I'm using another analogy or another person that we may talk about a little bit later today. There was this concept that Belichick is a great football coach. For years and years and years and years, Belichick was the greatest coach in college football.
Right.
They were winning games. They had great defenses with the man at quarterback, and he was great. He was wonderful. And then all of a sudden, the quarterback that he had the entire time he was great leaves and goes to Tampa. And I don't know if you remember how great Tampa has been in the NFL over the last 30 years. They're not.
They won a Super Bowl
with
John. Was that John Gruden over there?
Yeah, Brady didn't win it. Did Brady win it?
Yeah, Brady won a Super Bowl.
Brady won a Super Bowl in his
But my point is, yeah. I mean, they won a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Tampa
but
Bay
it wasn't with Belichick.
Yeah, Tampa was terrible.
Yeah.
The quarterback that made Belichick great shows up in Tampa and hosts the trophy up the next day.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is how bad is Colorado that even with the great coach you're talking about, allegedly, possibly, at JSU, brought a Heisman Trophy and a Pro Bowl quarterback, still get a chuckle out of that, to a major university who has won a national championship before. I believe it was in like the 70s or 80s. Don't get me Googling right now. And they still couldn't win more than 3 games.
Can I bring something to this conversation?
Yeah.
Deion will resign because of his health issues before he
No. That's all been cleared.
Okay.
He has came out over the last couple of weeks saying that the health issues are cleared, cancer is gone. Deion has no excuse anymore.
No one's ever said they were completely clear and then came back a week later and go, oh, after some news research.
Urban Meyer had more issues than that going on.
But my point
There's
is
a slice of pizza
Deion,
on the back of a ATV with
he will
Deion's name on it.
resign before he ever lets somebody fire him.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, he will.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eli hit us up on YouTube. Before Deion was at Colorado, I didn't give any thought to watching them. But now when I look at games to watch, it adds a little interest. I mean, 100%. That's right. When we look at Colorado, we see them on TV. We're like, what's Deion doing this year?
You said that was Eli?
Yes.
Hey, Eli. I'm Richie. Nice to meet you. I'm going to look at their schedule And at any point in time during this, you see a game that you would rather watch than a dozen other games, please hit me up in the chat. They will open the season with Georgia Tech.
Oh,
week 1. I don't know. Name 12 other games on week 1 you'd rather watch.
Would I watch that game as the 11 o'clock sleeper? Heck yeah, I would.
Well, great, because it's on at 7.
So
the
you
same
had
time.
night,
Yes.
prime time.
Yeah.
You have Justice Haynes.
Oh yeah, at Georgia
going
Tech.
Up at Georgia Tech going up against primetime.
I like it. I might watch it. I don't know. What's the next game?
Week 2, the mighty Weber State.
Move on.
Week 3 at Northwestern.
Move on.
Week 4, Baylor.
Interest. Just because Baylor, you never know what you're going to get at times.
Baylor is a 21-point underdog to Auburn week 1.
Well,
move on.
Okay.
Dave Aranda might put together.
You might be interested in this one because of the other team. That's Texas Tech comes to Colorado.
There's no telling what Texas Tech is going to be good on defense. They're going to be a good team again. They're just missing a starting quarterback.
Utah at Colorado the following week. Or excuse me, they get a bye, and then Utah. So they're at least 3-4 losses up to that point. They go to the terrible basement. Whatever happened to Oklahoma State needs to be studied. Kansas State.
Gundy was there too long. That's what happened with Oklahoma State.
Arizona State, Houston, Cincinnati, UCF. They might win 3 games this season.
Yeah.
And there's in the 3 biggest games, the 3 games that you would be like, oh yeah, I'll watch, is not because of Colorado. It's not because of Deion. It's because of Texas Tech is supposed to be a playoff team. Utah has a chance to be a playoff team. Houston has a chance to be a playoff team. Like, it has nothing to do. All they have done is shown how terrible Colorado is.
Eli, hit us up again on YouTube. If Colorado fires him, does another school hire him as their head coach or potentially the recruiting coordinator?
Yes, he'll go back to like a JSU. He'll go back.
Yeah, I think he'll definitely. He probably go back to the.
He'll go to most likely, and I think he would appreciate this. I think he would be good at this level. He would go back to a historically black college.
Probably. 7:30 a.m. 103.9 FM. JOX Huntsville. What do you guys think? Is Deion the first head coach, the first major head coach to get fired in the 2026 college football season? Think about this question. There could be a lot of head coaches that are on the hot seat early, including, a guy like Venables, Dave Aranda, and maybe Dabo Swinney over there as well. There are a lot of coaches out there that could get fired early on in the season. We're going to take a quick break to 7:30 a.m. 103.9 FM. JOX Huntsville. We'll be right back on the Off the Bench College Football Show. We witnessed history in baseball last night. If you were watching the White Sox play, you would see that rookie Tristan Peters hit for the cycle last night.
Red Sox or White Sox?
White Sox.
White Sox.
White Sox. It was, White Sox.
Unless they were bloody. Then it's the Red Sox.
Dirty Sox.
It was historic fashion. He came with a triple to beat the Athletics last night, 14-1. They were going to crush him, but he went 4 for 4, hit the home run the third time, and then hit the triple, the last trip around the bases.
So sorry to you Braves fans last night that suffered through that like long rain delay game. Cardinals 2-1 over the Braves. Loved it.
I went to bed, I think, when the delay happened.
Wake me up when September comes.
We were talking during the break. This is probably my favorite time of the year for baseball. The first month is boring for me because you transition, all the football stuff into baseball, and it's just like a boring sport to watch. And then this year, it's kind of gotten excited. My Cardinals are playing decent baseball. You got a lot of youth in that team, and they pop some home runs, and it's fun to watch.
Well, just like with college football, we've made some changes that have tried to make the game more appealing, speed the game up a little bit, got rid of, with the ABS and the being able to tap the head, which is still the absolute dumbest ejection I've ever seen. But he's literally walking back to the dugout, taps his head for whatever reason. Now, he's not trying to review it. You can't review it. He's 20 feet away, and the first base ump is like, "You're out of here for trying to review that play." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" And they I don't even know who the player was, threw him out. I was like, that's dumb.
We're in the mix of a lot of changes over the sports, especially MLB, who's more traditionally.
But you gotta like it though; it speeds up the game.
I love parts that I like, and there's parts that I don't like.
I like the 20-second clock.
I like the 20-second clock. I think as a player, I'd hate it. I think I played baseball for nothing crazy, but I played for
numerous years,
13 years consecutively.
Yeah.
As a player, I think I'd hate the clock. I think it's a part, there's baseball so long, and as a player, you almost enjoy that how much time you're actually given. I don't like the challenging rule. I think it's way too used.
You can only challenge twice.
You can only lose twice.
Yes.
You can challenge.
Every
pitch.
Game. Every time I look at a highlight, I'm challenging. And I'm like, this is so much.
Does that not show you? Especially because if you lose twice, you can't challenge anymore,
right?
And the amount of challenges we've gotten that have been overturned, does that not show you as a baseball fan for how many years now it's been terrible? Now, obviously, there are some umps in baseball that people who've never watched a baseball game can name because of how terrible they are at calling balls and strikes and calling the field and everything. I think I would be shocked if maybe not next season, but the 28 season, the ump is just back there telling you what the ABS said.
Well, and that's what I hate, because I've always been brought up, especially with the umpires at the local baseball park here. It is a part of the game for the umpire to make bad calls, and we had to live with it. It just became a part of the game. So now that everything is being challenged and everything is it doesn't seem like it's up to the umpire anymore. There's parts of it I don't like, because I think, honestly, a part of the game is that the umpire makes bad calls.
Could you imagine this AI system over here at Monrovia Phillips Park, and dads and moms going crazy? What do you mean that's a strike?
Dads are behind there tapping their head.
I mean, imagine if there was a replay system involved in the park as well.
What's crazy though, with the way cameras are now, you could do it. You could.
I would have umpires though, because I played first base. I had umpires that were very technical.
Yeah.
So if that guy on first base steps off the base for 1 second, and I've got the glove on him while he's coming into first, and he steps off the base, just thinking, oh, the play's over. I can step off the base for a second. You're out.
There was one yesterday at softball game where this girl from whatever school it was, she hits this double, and she's celebrating and jumping up and down on second base.
Oh, and they got her.
And the girl on second base just holds the glove on her, and the umpire, you're out.
Yep.
It's like, you got to watch.
All right, I'm going to set you up.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
the ABS system is tough. It's pretty good. It's fun to watch. It's nothing compared to what we will end up having in college football and the NFL, because I have watched a little bit of the World Cup.
Yeah.
And the way their system is set up and how precise it is with the stupid offsides, the World Cup has just been crazy.
If the college football could take anything from the World Cup, maybe it's the continuation rules, how the game is continued on.
No.
7:30 a.m., 103.9 FM, Jocks Huntsville. This is the Off the Bench College Football Show. We'll be right back. 7:30 a.m., 103.9 FM, Jocks Huntsville. This is the Off the Bench College Football Show. I'm your host, Kelsey Elfine. Co-host Richie sitting to my left.
Good morning.
I can say that a second time. Co-host Richie sitting to my left, if I don't mix up the words. And, of course, producer Pops on the other side of the camera here with us. There has been a lot in terms of feedback from the new College Football 27 video game come out. In terms of a lot of positive feedback on where the game is going towards the direction of the franchise, as we've seen it the last couple of years, starting to feel like college football season now that the new iteration of the game has come out.
Yep.
I can finally talk about my experience of playing it beforehand, before everybody else got to in the beta.
Allegedly,
yeah. We'll go with that. But at the same point, there's been a lot going on with how a lot of things were handled, especially implementation of a lot of new things. From the new hashtag that has really dragged the whole movement and killed what EA Sports was trying to do, which was taking more money away from hardworking individuals who get to play the game. Instead, like last year, they had progression sliders in terms of how fast you can get good, both in your career mode, Road to Glory, and in Dynasty mode, where you're, taking over a program, right? Okay. So what they did this year, instead of having a slow, normal, and fast and faster paced to level up your coach or player, you now can buy the equivalent of $100 in coaching points to max out your coach.
I heard, I have not played the game, so this is secondhand, that if you won the championship, you only got it was either 16 or 40 points.
Yeah.
And so to max your coach out would have taken a minimum of 60 years or 60 seasons.
So I think the max, I saw somebody do it. They did it for 30 seasons.
Yeah.
And they were like a level 34.
Right.
And that's like a quarter of what you can be.
So if Nick Saban would have started coaching at 30, he could have maxed out when he hit 92.
Yeah.
If he'd have won 60 consecutive national championships.
Right. And that's the issue. And, a lot of people did not like it. And it started with a complete movement started by the YouTuber Bordeaux, who has worked with EA College Football the last couple of years, this year specifically, to roll out the game. He has stated that he will never work with EA again because of how they handled this situation. Because earlier this week, they came out and pretty much said, we understand y'all, we hear y'all, but we're not taking it out.
They're going to try to make any amount of money they can on it.
Well, it's also private equity ownership.
Yeah. You got shareholders that you got to pay.
Right. 100%. So eventually it was taken out this morning. So that was the updated news on this. It has been taken out of the game, and you have now progression sliders back in the game. They took away the fastest one, which I don't know why it matters now, because you can't pay to get anything.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, I saw a thing where the University of Colorado, not to go back to an earlier conversation, we've now spent more time talking about.
They want it out.
They had already signed. No, we're out.
Yeah.
And the EA was like, well,
it's crazy because how much of these college football teams actually work with EA? Because I know FIU specifically, they did this with two other teams last year. I think it was Delaware and one other team. I think it was Delaware and Kennesaw State last year, the two new teams, right? This year, FIU said, if you win 2 national championships, we'll give you season tickets for club seats. If you can win the national championship, post the screenshots to us, tell us how you did it, what you did, how all that stuff, and you could win.
In the game, you win championships.
The first two players to achieve this and win 2 national championships with FIU, they got season ticket club seats.
That's awesome.
Delaware did that last year, and I think Kennesaw State did as well.
I know that, at one point in time, MLB The Show, they did a thing where if you were able to go in there and pitch a perfect game, you won some stupid, crazy high prize. And so you had people setting up, because you had to have multiple camera angles that showed you weren't cheating and everything.
Yeah.
And people, as soon as the game came out, they're just, grinding it. And as soon as the first hit, they're restarting the game and everything. That's awesome. That is the coolest thing I think I've ever heard with FIU in a game, that Show us how you won a championship. Well, because we ain't figured out how to win a championship. You figure it out, and we're going to give you season tickets.
It's also like, I know last year as well, like it directly helped. Depending on how many teams got played within EA was giving money to the schools for their NIL to help these smaller schools with the NIL, because everybody wants to do a rebuild, right?
Yeah.
So you go in there, you rebuild a San Jose State, you go rebuild a Ohio Bobcat team, you go and rebuild a Miami of Ohio,
the UNLV Running Rebels,
Buffalo, UNLV. EA directly was paying these schools for their NIL, and it correlated with how many times actual people who were playing the game would play as those teams.
That's awesome.
So speaking of NIL, can we start a movement, Kelsey, our own movement here on the Off the Bench Radio Show?
What's up?
Is to get Brooks in the dang game for Alabama.
Latier Brooks?
Yeah, he's not in the game.
Latier Brooks is not in the game. Now, there's still a lot of players that are still not in the game. How
does one of your starting wide receivers not be in the game?
Here's the deal with Brooks.
The agreement.
He didn't sign the agreement.
Yeah, $2,500 agreement or something.
He did not sign the agreement. And obviously, he wasn't informed about this.
Yeah.
He didn't know how this worked. Okay, and that's an agent's fault right there.
Yeah,
because he didn't get informed how he was going to be in the video game, how he was going to receive his money. That stuff was not informed to Latier Brooks. That's why he's not in the video game.
Yeah.
Now, if he's given this opportunity during the season, it's going to correlate with how well he is known and how well he has played if he's going to get that opportunity, because EA doesn't need to step up and say, we want you in the game.
No, they make updated rosters just about every, you're talking to somebody who plays the game just about every day. And I play the road to the college football playoff, and I don't ever play this road to glory stuff and all that stuff. But, but I will tell you, I've got some complaints. Bama's offense sucks. Okay. Their defense is great, but their offense sucks. I'm just going to say it. Brooks is not in the game. I don't think I see Cedarian Morgan representing the game either. Maybe he is. He's just not in my lineup. I don't know. And then they moved Williams to the outside versus the inside. I guess as the player, I could change that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I like the play of the game. I like the feel of the game. I like the defensive side of the game, but it's taken me a minute to where's this play? Where's that play? Some of the playbook stuff in Alabama's definitely changed.
Join us next week as we go live from the Garage Bar as we play NCAA 27. We turn into a gaming channel.
Isn't that Switch or Twitch or Switch or
Switch? But YouTube
Switch
Live and YouTube Gaming.
Switch is the Wii console.
Yeah.
Twitch, Twitch is the
streaming video game stuff.
Yes.
Pops just showed his age real quick.
All I know is that I can't find two plays that I ran in last year's game, and I would tear people up with those plays online, and they're not in the game.
Did Alabama simplify their offense? Did they cut plays out?
I think the game thinks they did.
Maybe.
Yeah.
They've
You can go back. You can go in there. Can't you create plays and
you can
stuff?
create
And,
plays.
yeah.
You can create a whole playbook if you wanted to.
And if anybody's listening, can you tell me why when you play a player online, they immediately hit pause? And I think they're making some adjustments, but what are they doing?
They're probably switching out players who are playing.
Okay. It just drives me nuts.
Something like that.
I just want to play the game. I don't.
Yeah, you want to play the game? We get it.
We could do a live and play one day.
You could. I'd have to figure out how to do it. I'm not 100%.
We just turn the camera onto the TV and hook it up and
I
play
don't
it.
look terrible. I don't know what you're talking about. Eli, hit us up on YouTube. Back to an earlier conversation. Take a look at FSU's incoming conference opening schedule. Plus, they play Bama early on in the season. If they don't win a conference game by November, Norvell will be the first Power 4 coach fired.
Un momento, por favor.
Now, I agree. I think, Norvell is not going to have an easy stretch. He's got Ashton Daniels as a starting quarterback. Okay, he was at Auburn last year. He's a good quarterback, but this team isn't great.
I'm not talking any smack against Florida State.
All right. So here's their schedule. They start August 29th. The New Mexico State comes to Florida State.
So they're 1-0.
Is Pavia back there? I know he couldn't go back to Vanderbilt, but could he go back to New Mexico State?
SMU comes to town the following week.
That's a loss.
SMU's supposed to be real good this
season.
season.
Yeah, with Brett Ashley.
So they're 1-1.
Then they head to Tuscaloosa. We're not going to talk about that one.
Nope.
We're going to skip right past that one.
Are you guys scared to talk about Alabama and Florida State?
I don't want to jinx it. I would have never thought we were going to lose last year.
Central Arkansas.
We're in Tuscaloosa.
So they're 2-2 at that point.
We're not going to talk about the Bama game, but they're 2-2.
2-2 at that point.
Virginia.
They're 3-2 at that point. They beat Virginia.
Okay.
Is it at home or on the road?
It's at Florida State.
All right.
At Louisville.
They're 3-3 at that point.
At Miami.
They're 3-4 at that point.
Home for Clemson.
That's
3-5 at that point.
At Boston College.
They're 3-6 at that point.
At Pitt.
Shoot, 3-7.
That little stretch right there
That's
sucks.
brutal.
North Carolina State comes to town. That's probably homecoming weekend. What are they?
I was 3-7 or 3-6 or something.
So
3-7.
So 4-7.
Yeah,
And then they finish the season at home
against Florida.
Against what could be a possible dark horse playoff team in Florida.
Yeah. So I mean,
You
dude,
give that much credit to Summerall?
I said dark horse. I said could possibly be
That is
a
the
dark
same
horse.
praise you gave the Dan Mullen at UNLV.
And they were one win away from being in there.
dude.
We'll see how
technically,
Summerall can recruit
Them
down
with
Florida.
one win and somebody else with a loss because it would have jumped you. Yeah. Anyway,
I still want to hit. Y'all are scared to talk about Florida State.
We'll talk about Florida State. I just don't want to,
the other 11 games. Which one you want to talk about?
I'm not
the Miami game.
I'm not going to sit there.
It is
We still have not named a starting quarterback, dude.
No, I know.
Okay, I'm not going to sit there and
I've been griping on
speculate
that as well.
on a week 3 game or week 2 game, whatever it is.
Okay, I'm griping on that as well because you have that's week 3. I'm pretty sure, right? Because you
Yeah.
have Kentucky
East,
and Alabama.
Kentucky, then Florida.
Is second
Yeah,
week.
yeah,
Okay, Kentucky and Alabama is going to be a tough game. That's where you're really going to see the quarterbacks figure out what they're doing down there in Tuscaloosa. We'll figure out who the starter is in that game before the game. I think
Kentucky.
East Carolina, you'll see a split quarterback game. And then Kentucky, you will see the starter name before that game in week 2.
So Richie, who's the starting quarterback at the University of Alabama? Let's just go ahead and have this
I don't
conversation.
think it matters when we go to Kentucky who the starting quarterback is. I could be the starting quarterback for the University of Alabama and beat Kentucky.
Dude,
that
Have you
Saturday.
seen what Will Stein has done?
Will
at Kentucky?
Stein has completely
I'm not even going to look at y'all. I'm not even looking.
override this program, okay?
I'm not even-
in Lexington,
I'm not
okay?
Yeah, no. I'm
Richie,
not,
what did Will Stein do last year?
not beat Alabama.
What has he done the last couple of years, though?
When's the last time Kentucky beat
has
Alabama in anything that wasn't basketball?
He has consistently made the college
And
football playoff.
hell, they hadn't even done-
coordinator for Oregon.
Hell, they hadn't even beat us in basketball in the last how many years?
Now that
Been a
was
minute.
that was a direct shot.
That was a shot. That was a direct
to get
shot
involved.
across the bar.
I'm not sure they've beat us in tiddlywinks,
I'm just saying it's
gymnastics.
I don't think
This
it's
is
going
not
to be.
softball.
This is not Stoops in Kentucky. This is not that team, okay?
So you
Eli
think
hitting us up on
the
YouTube.
second week of the season, he's got that ship so turned around?
Eli hitting us up on YouTube. Will Stein makes me nervous playing Kentucky.
So can we just break this down for a second now? And here's the reason why I didn't want to talk about Florida State. And we dropped into this Kentucky thing. Bama's got a non-proven offensive line.
Right.
They've got to make there's not a senior in
Proven
the offense on the offensive line.
Proven together.
Okay. Yep. And they have played at other locations.
And they were all good at other locations.
Okay.
They've just never played
We
together.
haven't named a starting quarterback. We do not know who our starting running backs are. Okay. We don't know who our receivers are going to be. We know one. We know Williams is going to be there. You can probably say that Brooks will be a starter. Okay. Is Sedarian Morgan starting as a freshman? Is Corwell going to run the ball as a freshman? Are we playing Riley? Are we playing Hill? Or are we playing AK Deer? Okay. I know in the video game, you know who the starter is in the video game?
Who?
It's Austin Mack and AK Deer. Okay.
Let's let this one breathe. 7:30 a.m. 103.9 FM. Jocks Huntsville. We're going to talk about Alabama and their starters on
Big
the
Blue
other
Nation.
side. Of course, the Big Blue Nation over there. 7:30 a.m. 103.9 FM. Jocks Huntsville. This is the Off the Bench College Football Show. We'll be right back.
I just have a hard time even.
7:30 a.m., 103.9 FM, Jocks Huntsville. This is the Off the Bench College Football Show. I'm your host, Kelsey Alfine, co-host Richie Jones. Sitting to the left of me, and of course, Pops on the other side of the screen.
He was over there ordering his Kentucky National Championship shirt. He's put in the pre-order for it.
We continued watching, talking about this.
In.
Oh, sorry.
300 to 1 odds, man.
We continued talking about this during the break, and apparently this has turned into a pretty hot topic here this morning. Kentucky, how good are they going to be next year? Specifically, Alabama, Kentucky, week 2. Now, okay, let's talk about the history with Will Stein. Will Stein has been the offensive coordinator with Oregon for the last couple of years under Dan Lanning. Look at the success that Dan Lanning and Will Stein have had over the last couple of years for the Oregon Ducks in terms of making the college football playoff and how good that offense has been the last couple of years. He has a former potential Heisman candidate this year who, not to mention, he was on the cover of the video game like we were talking about last segment, in Dante Moore. Will Stein has produced his career. He is going into Kentucky. He has redone their recruiting. He has brought some absolute firepower in their program. He picked pieces that he needed in the portal. He wants to compete now. This is going to be week 2, Lexington, Kentucky. This isn't their home opener. They start with Youngstown State. Okay?
Kroger Field.
This is the first game where fans are going to be looking at in Lexington and saying, Will Stein has the opportunity to beat the Crimson Tide. They are going to give it everything they have in Kroger Field. Let's talk about how loud this stadium is going to be. This is going to be the loudest stadium that Kentucky has heard in a long time and yelled in a long time.
What, all 60,000 fans that thing holds?
Yeah, the loudest stadium in Kentucky is Rupp Arena, by the way. Just throwing that out there. That's what I'm saying.
But these fans are going to be rowdy. They're going to be reckless in this game. They're going to be for their team. This Kentucky team is not a joke.
That brown water is going to be flowing before the 2:30 kickoff?
100%.
In 1,000-degree heat?
Yeah.
All right. Do we have time to go over their schedule?
Kentucky schedule?
No, you do not.
Okay.
But,
yeah, Kelsey, I don't like talking about these types of games, and we do not have a proven offensive line. We don't know who's going to play running back. We don't know who's going to play quarterback.
That's the issue with this game right now.
Do I think that Kentucky's going to be better than they were? They still got an SEC schedule, right? Okay.
Guys, we're going to talk more about this on the other side. Kentucky and Alabama, week 2, 7:30 a.m., 103.9 FM. Jocks Huntsville, this is the Off the Bench College Football Show. We'll be right back. .30 a.m., 103.9 FM, Jocks Huntsville. This is the Off the Bench College Football Show. I'm your host, Kelsey Elfine, co-host Richie Jones, sitting at my left, and producer Pops across the camera from us. Guys, if you want to hit us up today, get in on the conversation, you can do so. If you're on the YouTube side, just hit us up in the comment section. If you were on the radio side, you can go to our YouTube side and look up at Off the Bench CFB Show, or on Facebook at Off the Bench. And we can, you can hit us up on here. You can let us know what you want to talk about. Right now, we're in the midst of the argument of how good is Kentucky going to be? Can they compete with Alabama week 2? Now, obviously, we've discussed the problems with Alabama. Alabama has many issues right now as we stand. They don't know who the starting quarterback's going to be. Going into week 2, that's scary.
I would say more unknowns than issues.
I wouldn't say it's an issue, dude. You got two quarterbacks back there.
Okay, hold on. What's the old saying?
If you got 2 quarterbacks,
you ain't got
another quarterback.
Who said that? Who said that?
I believe that was one Nicholas Bartholomew Saban.
No, I thought that was actually Bowden. I thought that was Bobby Bowden.
Bobby Bowden. Bowden said a lot more southern.
That was Bobby Bowden quote. Yeah,
Nicholas Bartholomew Saban.
I'm pretty sure Bobby Bowden
the first.
So I had brought this up, right? Okay, in the last segment. Okay, so Alabama has unknown problems. They have unknowns on their teams. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Running back situation is not defined.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know how we're looking at running back. We don't know if it's one guy. We don't know if we're going by committee. We don't know if it's starting guy. Unknown at quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Wide receiver, more well-known, just not as proven yet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ryan Coleman Williams down your last year. Cedarian Morgan, we don't know. Well, I think we know what production we could get. We just don't know if we're going to get it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Noel Rogers is hurt. Okay. We know what we're getting from Lotzie Brooks. There's guys in that in and there and out of there. We kind of know the wide receiver core and how it's going to shape up.
Starting tight end. I look at all those little things. It's that one huge transfer guy, like 6 foot, 6'6", 235, 245, whatever. He's a big boy.
Right.
The kid from Norway.
We brought in
that was an earlier joke.
Ealing Highland.
Sorry. Go ahead. So there's a lot of questions on offense.
Yes. Now, on the Kentucky side, let's look at track records, because we know what Will Stein's trying to do at Kentucky. He's recruiting very well. He picked his pieces in the portal that he wanted and put together that team. So Will Stein, let's look at his former offenses. In 2022, he was the offensive coordinator for UTSA. He was number 12 in the country, ranked in office.
And
number 9 in
12th toughest schedule, too.
Let's keep going.
Yeah.
A year later, brought up to the big leagues in 2023 in Oregon. He was number 2 ranked offense in the country, number 2 total offense, averaged 44 points per game. In 2024 at Oregon, he was number 17, added 35 per game.
Oh, so they went down.
Okay.
With
2025, he was number 7 in the regular season, approximately 39 points per game.
Look at a starting quarterback.
Dante Moore was it last year.
Look at
Dante Moore is going to be a Heisman candidate this year for Oregon, as well as the cover of the college football game.
Yeah. So he was good at Oregon.
We'll see what he does against.
Now.
Everybody's good at Oregon.
We talk about how
he's in the Big Ten.
We talk about all the time who's better, the SEC or the Big Ten. The Big Ten has to level up right now. Their teams, they're top heavy, and Oregon is a part of that top heaviness consistently in the college football playoff. Okay, there is no doubt right now if he can take Dante Moore, who at one time Dante Moore's career was completely, they didn't know what they were going to do with Dante Moore. They didn't know how good he was going to be, if he could play right away, if they should redshirt him. They didn't know what Dante Moore's future was. Will Stein came in there and turned him into a Heisman candidate. He can do the same thing with Kenny Minchie at Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I can't, my issue right now is I can't sit here and name another Kentucky player other than the quarterback, and they've got to go against the SEC defenses. Okay, so we'll see what happens.
Let's talk about Jay Bateman, their defensive coordinator, on the other side, because Will Stein's an offensive guy.
Okay.
Jay Bateman, over his career, now he's not always, this is not listing on his DC spots, but where he has coached on the defense. He last coached as a co-defensive coordinator for Texas A&M in 2025.
Okay.
How good
Okay.
were they?
A&M
Well,
Mm-hmm.
we're not talking about the whole team. We're talking about just the
defense.
defenses.
Okay,
Okay. In
okay.
2016, he was on the Army staff. Number 4 total defense, number 16th in scoring defense. 2018, he was still on the Army staff. Number 8 total defense and number 10 in scoring defense. In 2021, he was on North Carolina. That was the 94th total defense in the country.
In the ACC.
In 2024, he moved on to Texas A&M. He was a top 35 in scoring defense. Okay. And he only allowed 22 points per game. In 2025, he was number 19th in total defense, number 41 in scoring defense. Okay. But Elko
With a
eventually took
40
over the play calling.
With a $40 million roster.
Yes. I'm not saying Bateman's the best thing since sliced bread. What I am saying, he's more than competent to complement Will Stein's offense.
So you're saying that he's up that Kentucky has upped its ante at coaching staff.
Yes.
Okay. And so they're going to be competitive this year in the SEC.
Right.
So Georgia's just not going to walk all over everything and beat them up. Florida's not going to beat them up. I haven't even looked at their schedule.
I'm glad you brought up the schedule.
Yeah.
Week 1, the tough Penguins of Youngstown State come to Kroger Field.
Right. Yeah.
So they start off the season 1-0. Week 2, they welcome the let's see, what does it say? Oh, the Crimson Tide to Kroger Field.
They're 1-1. Bama beats them on the road week 1.
At Texas A&M.
Week 2. Oh, at Texas A&M.
Week 3.
They're 1-2.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they get to welcome the other team from Alabama,
Auburn.
South Alabama.
Oh,
I should have said they're 2-2 and then told you it was South Alabama. That would have been funnier.
yeah.
Then they go on the road October 3rd to South Carolina.
It's a good game.
Dude, I think that defines their season.
That's a good game right there.
October 3rd at South Carolina.
That's Beamer ball. That's Cocktober.
That's and your award for getting through the first game of Cocktober, they get to welcome LSU to town
at Kroger Field.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Don't know what Lane's going to do.
At Oklahoma.
Lane's going to say, get your popcorn ready.
At Oklahoma.
Hey, that's another L.
Vandy comes to town. Then they head to Neyland. Florida comes to Kroger Field. At Missouri. And then they end the season at home against Louisville.
So they don't play Georgia this year.
They don't play Georgia. They don't play Texas. They don't play they get Alabama and LSU.
But they also get Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Who could
and A&M.
If I told you Oklahoma was this year's
like
Penn State.
It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise
I don't know. John Matier coming back. John Matier came in as a Heisman candidate last year. He got hurt, and then you have a full season if John Matier can stay healthy. I don't know if that's a Penn State kind of way.
All I can sit there when you say that name is Xavier Brown, pick six.
I would say that Clemson would be closer to a Penn State kind of year.
Yeah, but here's my problem.
Penn State didn't have, Clemson didn't have a great year last year.
Yeah, Penn State's never going to fire Dabo. Dabo may quit, and at the end of the season, they may agree to part ways. They're not firing Dabo before Halloween.
Is Dabo the next offensive coordinator of the University of Alabama?
No.
No.
Is Dabo going to get a boat and go sell the Ocean Blue? Yes. Who is the team that's in the top 5 or 10 that had a great season last year, possibly even a playoff run last year, that this year is going to suck so bad that they fire their big name coach before Halloween? And Texas A&M or Oklahoma are the only two that even remotely come close, in my opinion. USC, but they didn't make the playoff last year, so that doesn't count.
It's
Oregon.
Indiana.
Dan
It's
Lanning.
Indiana.
Dan Lanning just completely craps the bed.
I don't know if Indiana has that drop-off year because of their schedule. I mean, it's
Their
Indy.
schedule's it's easy schedule in college football.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's not.
Let's go ahead and pencil in Indiana into the playoffs.
It's not James Franklin because
I can't wait to see what he does at Virginia Tech.
I can too. It's not.
It ain't gonna be pretty this year.
James
He's gonna
Franklin couldn't win the big game. So
he beat
even if
somebody
he
this year
can't
that
win
he
the-
shouldn't.
even if Cignetti can't win the big game,
Yeah.
he's still got 10 other games he don't got to worry about. That's the problem with Cignetti, right?
You can go ahead and pencil Indiana into the playoffs.
So pencil Indiana and Notre Dame in the playoff.
Yeah.
No, I think I've looked at their schedule.
They have an MOU.
All they got to do is be in the top 12,
All they
and
got to do
they're
is be
in
in the top 12, and they don't play
No
a
matter
hard
what.
schedule.
Their schedule is ridiculous.
I think they lose 2 out of 3 weeks. There's a stretch in their schedule. If you look at it, they're going to lose 2 games, and they're going to drop so far.
Is
2
it
out of 3 games? They're still in the playoff.
You remember,
I
like
don't know.
2 months ago, we did that thing where we looked at the schedule per week. We need to do that like a month out from the season.
Yeah. Schedule
because that was fun. That was like, which weeks do you want?
Well, yeah, we'll do the schedule draft week closer to the season. Yeah.
So you want to do the go through the whole schedule, or do you want to do the all right? You get to pick week 1. Where are you going?
Yeah. Week 1, and so we will get how that'll work.
We have to draft too, so you can't each pick.
How we're doing that is we'll draft the week by week.
Yeah.
And you will have it spread out of which games are on.
I think we need to figure out a way to get one of the listeners involved in this. Like bring Eli on, bring Carl on, bring somebody on, and just split up the voice, a little bit. And especially somebody like Eli, who has a totally different perspective. And Alabama football is going to win everything.
I mean, Eli's suffering.
Whatever happened to
Jeff Levy?
Whatever happened to our breakfast from Ray Ray?
I've talked to him. It's returning.
Oh.
It is
returning. I've talked to him.
The return.
It may be the regular season,
burritos,
but we'll have to return. So, okay.
It's too hot out here for Ray Ray.
It is. My whole point with the Eli hitting us up, he says he's down. He will be another voice on this. If you want to get involved in a scheduled draft, hit us up. All you got to do is put it in the YouTube comment section right here. You can hit us up on Facebook and just remind us when we get closer there that you are involved in the scheduled draft for the Off the Bench College Football Show.
I got one rule, Eli. There's no dang cowbells in this garage. That's all I got to say.
Is he a State fan?
Yeah,
he's a big State fan.
Oh, Eli, I'm dearly beloved.
No dang cowbells.
We are
in this
gathered here
garage.
today.
Jeff Levy get fired next year? This has got to be a Jeff Levy make it or break it year.
Here's my problem. Okay, and Eli, if you're a State guy, I know more about State than I probably should. Here's my problem with Levy. Is he a good coach? Yes. Is he a great coach? Hell no.
I think he's an offensive coordinator.
Is he the best thing that Mississippi State currently has the financial ability to get?
And that's the problem with Mississippi State football, because you have tradition, you have there's a lot of things to go along with Mississippi State football, and Starkville is a perfect place to win.
Stark Vegas.
It is a perfect place to win in college football. The surrounding area, it's perfect for college football. It's perfect for the South. The problem with Mississippi State is they don't have the money. Okay, they have an offensive coordinator as their head coach who is not ready to be a CEO of a team, and Mississippi State needs a CEO.
But I don't know that they can afford better than what they have.
Okay, all you need is a Dan Mullen.
Oh, really? It's almost like if I look back in my vault of memories, they had him.
They did.
The definition of insanity is what?
And they fired him.
The definition of insanity.
Yeah, and who was the head coach when Dak Prescott was there?
Dan Mullen.
If I remember right, they're the #1 ranking in the country at one point.
I was at
no matter you fire him or not, they were #1 in the country at one point.
I was at the game where I don't know if they fired him. I think he technically left to go to Florida, but they were hot seat rumors, but Florida came available or whatever.
Right.
But anyway, he's at UNLV right now. You telling me Mississippi State couldn't say, "Hey Dan, come home," and he would we're going to pay you more than UNLV is.
Well, you got to have a reason to fire Levy.
Okay.
I don't think they had that reason.
I was at the game.
Yeah, Eli hit us up. They didn't fire him. Mullen left for Florida, and he also Carl hitting us up on YouTube. He's down for a scheduled draft.
Yeah.
So I'm at the game. My only time ever being at it was my first time ever at a Mississippi State game. They're playing South Carolina. They're losing. It's the fourth quarter. I think it was the fourth quarter, maybe in the very end of the third quarter. And all of a sudden, you hear the announcer saying, at quarterback, Dakota Prescott. And this kid comes in and just starts slinging it. Like
he was something special in college, man.
At the time, he was Dakota Prescott. He wasn't even Dak.
You got to remember, right, too, is Dak was a 4th-round pick. Yet he led a #1 overall, a #1 ranked team in the country at the time. And he just
Well, Colin Cowherd always talks about how much
I look back
him
and I don't know how he wasn't a first round pick.
he has never lost a press conference. They said that Colin Cowherd talks so good about Prescott. He talks about how bad the Cowboys have been, but Prescott being so perfect for that team and being on the mic and everything. He talks about how Jalen Hurts is the same way. You never hear if they have a great game. Dak Prescott and Jalen Hurts are talking about like, hey, my man right here was great. He was out there. If they have a bad game, man, hey, that's on me. I shouldn't have thrown that interception in the second quarter.
So you're saying he's a PR dream.
Oh yeah,
because that's what they're saying about Erling Haaland right now. He's a PR dream.
Who?
Erling Haaland.
The tight end, the
player.
The next tight end.
The soccer player.
Yeah, the next he plays
6
for Norway.
foot, 6'10",
6 foot. He's at least 6'5", 240. He's.
I heard he was
Travis Kelce, who can run 25 mile an hour.
I heard he was 8 foot tall.
Nah, he's not.
He killed a bear with his bare hands.
Could have
saved a.
Have you seen the team picture that Norway has taken? Oh, so they're Vikings, right?
Yeah.
Okay, they took one that makes them look like they are, whatever century Vikings.
Nice.
And Erling Haaland looks like a Viking. I mean, spitting image of what you picture a Viking. That's what Haaland looks like.
Okay, so we may have to come back for another segment of others. Just call it other sports. But the coolest thing I have seen during the World Cup is the Norwegian fans taking over all of Times Square. And when I say all of Times Square, I mean shoulder to shoulder, sitting on the ground, like 40, 50 rows deep.
Did you see
doing
Did you see Aussie fans, Australia fans taking over a Walmart and they got kicked out?
Yes. The World Cup fans coming to America has been
it's been amazing.
The Soccers had like 8 points scored.
Yeah.
But the Buc-ee's and Walmarts and Bass Pro Shops have definitely won the World Cup.
Eli hit us up on YouTube. I would happily have Mullen back over Levy.
Well, yeah. The problem is you don't have the money to get him.
Well, the problem is you have to buy out Levy right now. And if you buy out Levy, you have no money left over as Mississippi State.
I mean, Mississippi State has, I would venture to bet, how many teams are in the SEC?
What are we up to now? 16?
I think it's 16.
16 teams.
16?
Yeah.
I would venture to bet, I'd be shocked if they have the 13th best facilities.
Probably.
Yeah. So here's what I don't get. You're in the same state, and it doesn't seem like you've been able to compete with Ole Miss the last 10 years.
The last great was the Egg Bowl where the guy hikes his leg up and fake pees on the field, and they've just scored the touchdown to tie the game, and all they got to do is kick the PAT and they win. And the kid hikes his leg up. They get a penalty. It's a 15-yard penalty, and he misses the PAT wide left.
So Eli made a good point over here on YouTube. We spend our money on baseball. Mississippi State.
So did Alabama. So does Oklahoma.
Yes,
so does
but Mississippi has limited money to go around.
Because
okay?
Alabama's got that much more.
Because Alabama has the best. Okay, them and Michigan are on two separate tiers of history within college football.
Yeah.
You have Michigan, one of the most winning programs in college football, if not the winningest. Okay. And then Alabama, who is the most winningest national championship program in college football, besides Harvard, I think.
I think
besides Harvard.
They were given a few.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how many Auburn's won this summer. So
Auburn's at least going to claim 6 before the season starts.
But you got to think the University of Alabama made the playoff in college football. Made the NCAA basketball tournament.
Right.
Yeah.
The Women's College World Series. And the Men's College World Series.
Okay,
but
the difference between Alabama, okay, here's the biggest difference.
Oh, and the
separates
gymnastics.
anything. Okay, Mississippi State is good at baseball. Okay, they spend a lot of money on baseball. Alabama's good at football. They make a lot of money from football.
Oh, so maybe they shouldn't spend all their money on baseball.
Well, that's the problem because football is so big that it's you can pay for all your sports by just being good at football.
And
Yeah.
here, I'll
Baseball
give you.
You got a stadium that seats 105,000.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll give you a segue to the next segment about the Alabama and Auburn coming together. If Mississippi State says, "Hey, we've got to spend $22 million," and they just say, "Screw football, we're going to be really good at baseball. We're just going to put the $22 million into baseball." Cool, but what does that get you in return?
We're completely off topic at this point. 7:30 a.m., 103.9 FM. Jocks Huntsville. This is the Off the Bench College Football Show. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. 7:30 a.m. morning to 39 FM, Jocks Huntsville. This is the Off the Bench College Football Show. I'm your host, Kelsey Huffine, co-host Richie Jones, sitting to my left, and producer Pops on the opposite camera from us. So we've been going through everything today, from baseball cycles being hit last night to the most beloved soccer player on the planet right now, and Erling Haaland.
Not named Messi.
Not named Messi. Well, he may be more popular than Messi.
Not a chance.
Messi's
I disagree.
I
think that
Messi's got
Haaland has taken, especially the USA, by storm.
I give you that. In America, yes. Yeah. Just overall, Messi's still Messi.
Yeah, you're right. Of course, the resolving of the EA Play Don't Pay movement has paid off in the world of video games today. But now, we mentioned this at the beginning of the show, Alabama and Auburn. Alabama has united with their little brother across the state.
Yeah.
Well, they tap Auburn on the head? What did they do, Kels?
No. They went together, and they are both agreeing. They're both agreeing and uniting against the Protect College Sports Act, directly affecting the future of college football.
I'm a little weird with this one.
So I understand what they're saying, right? Basically, of course, if you don't know what the Protect College Sports Act is, Congress has introduced a bill to protect college sports. It directly affects NIL, eligibility, the Lane Kiffin rule.
It's the 5-for-5 rule.
The 5-for-5 rule, right? Okay. Yeah. Alabama and Auburn, there's parts of this bill they like. The main reason they don't like this, they argue the legislation could create unintended consequences for college athletes. One of the biggest concerns is increased federal involvement in governing college sports. The bill attempts to address the teams we've just talked about, right? But they're agreeing publicly that the Protect College Sports Act is punishing teams for winning, and they do not want Congress involved with collegiate sports.
It's kind of like the conversation I had maybe 2 or 3 months ago where I said, keep the federal government out of college sports. But then I just said a few minutes ago that I'm a little weird with it because Saban was a big proponent of this.
That's another point.
And then he still has his office at the University of Alabama.
That's another point I brought up before.
Yeah.
This is the first time publicly we have seen Nick Saban and the University of Alabama publicly disagree on a major piece that directs college.
Saban directly come out and said, I disagree with my university that my
no. But he is directly backing this bill.
Yeah.
Directly. He's the reason the bill has gotten as far as it has.
Yeah.
And
so here's my thing.
Yeah.
I love the University of Alabama. I love college football. There's the way the world should be and the way the world is. The way the world should be is you got 25 scholarships a year. You can put 100 kids on the team, and we go on with life, right? Unfortunately, that's not where we're at. There's too much money in it. There's too much money involved. There's not enough. There's too many regulations by too many chefs in too many kitchens at the same time. And when you have that situation, that is what the government is supposed to help with, is when you have, there's 133 football teams. There's 300 and something basketball teams. I couldn't begin to tell you how many colleges there are in the United States. I mean, there's 6 in Alaska. It is time for the federal government to step up and put some guardrails in place to make sure it is a fair playing field for everyone involved. Now, does it need to go too far? No. Does the University of Alabama and Auburn need to come together and lock arms in arms, not because there was a tornado that came through the state, not because we're trying to beat Auburn, beat hunger like we do every year? It seems like, oh no, they may be taking a few dollars out of our pocket and keeping the SEC from expanding to 24 teams. We should come together and write a piece of paper and have our presidents, not our athletic director, not our coaches, not our players, not anyone who actually directly works with the sports programs at the University of Alabama, the president.
So this is my stance on this whole thing. The 5-5 bill was, or excuse me, the 5-5 rule was just introduced. I can generally sit here and say I'm for this rule change. Okay, we have a direct understanding of what this rule is. It's no longer, well, I mean, he's 27, but he really hasn't played any college football, so he's eligible.
Right.
That takes that out. It is a direct, you have 5 years to play college football from the moment you turn 19. Or I think it's
when you leave high school.
When you leave high school, you have 5 years to play college football. That is
so you
exactly
technically
what is
have,
needed.
You could have somebody, I guess, 19, and they would play 5 years. They'd be 24, give or take when their birthday is. But you could also have somebody that's 17 because they reclassify and blah, 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 which is fine. If it's a couple of years, that's still, if you're playing on a 16U baseball team and there's a 14-year-old who's really good, nobody says anything. But what you don't want is a 21-year-old kid who's been at college for 2 years coming back and playing on the 16U baseball team. That's called fairness. That's called competition. That's what we want to see on the field. We want to see great games every Saturday. We don't want to see a 42-year-old quarterback all of a sudden is now the starting quarterback at Colorado.
No. My point with this, we saw how fast the NCAA put in place for the 5-5 rule and how quickly that went through. Why are we focused on one major piece when we could actually sit here and say, why don't we just introduce these ideas one at a time? We saw there was success. There was also backlash. The NCAA has already been sued for the 5-5 rule, yet it's still in place. If they survived putting that rule in place, why not look at these ideas in this bill? Let's pick out what can actually work in college football, what does not penalize winning, and put those in one by one.
I will tell you, in there's three answers.
Mm-hmm.
Answer number one is money. Answer number two is money. And answer number three is, say it with me now, kids.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Money, but they put it in place.
Well,
the rule has survived.
So here's the thing. They need Congress to agree to allow them to negotiate together and get rid of the antitrust.
Uh-huh.
Because here's the problem, and the SEC is holding out. And I saw a whole thing about this. The SEC is holding out because the SEC does not want to go to 24 because they think that gets rid of the SEC championship game.
Uh-huh.
The SEC believes that the SEC championship game, that single game outside of the national championship game, is the most important football game played all season long. And as an SEC fan, I can see why they would say that.
I can too.
Big Ten fans
disagree.
Big Ten fans think you're an idiot. It's just another game, and you get to pick your champion. Blah blah blah. They know that they're going to 24. To go to 24, they have to lose the SEC championship game. The loss of the SEC championship game is a crap ton of money. It is a metric crap ton of money that just the SEC gets.
Right.
So with the whole having to renegotiate, and just like we've talked about before with the NFL, the AFC is on Fox, the NFC is on CBS. They work together. Hey, watch the Monday Night Football game on ESPN. You see the cross promotion. You don't see that today. Fox is Big Ten country. Fox is doing everything they can to expand because they know the second they expand, ESPN can no longer afford to have the hold on the whole thing, and Fox is going to get some of the big games. ESPN and the SEC, who is their puppet currently in the ring, is trying to hold on to 12, maybe 16, because ESPN can then hold on to the whole kit and caboodle. I love the SEC. I love Alabama. What is best for college football is for them to get rid of the antitrust, which the government has to do, to go to 24, get rid of the SEC championship games, and allow cross-promotion between Fox and CBS and ESPN and NBC, and bring it all together, very similar to how the NFL has set up their viewing package. And that will bring in a substantial amount more money to every university. So people like Mississippi State can then put money into football and baseball and basketball and cheerleading and gymnastics, which helps everyone across the board, because then that's more kids that can go to school on scholarships and fight for and cheer for their team.
I have no issue with the TV side of this, because that ultimately that does have some laws that outside of college football. Okay, that does kind of have to go with TV, stuff like that. That kind of does have to be handled by the government to a point. Okay, but I think the rules that are directly going to affect college football in terms of NIL, in terms of eligibility, in terms of firing rules of when you can leave your program and coach two at one time, the Lane Kiffin rule, whatever, right? Those should be handled by a governing body that is not a part of the government, okay?
College Sports Commission.
College Sports Commission, somebody.
But they don't have the bite. They don't have the fight without the government giving them some of those guidelines and railings. That's why every time they do anything, even all of us agree,
they're going to get sued. They're going to get sued no matter what.
So if you get the antitrust done, they can't sue you because we made our own rules.
Yeah. Yes, so, I understand that.
Does Chambliss play the Ole Miss quarterback? Does he play in the 5-5 deal?
Yeah.
No.
If it was this year, he would not be eligible, would he?
If he would have done stuff later, if that thing would have worked out after the 5-5 rule was passed, then he would be ineligible.
So same thing with the Oregon quarterback too, right?
Dante Moore.
You see where I'm going with this?
Mendoza.
Mendoza was 26 years old last year.
Carson Beck.
Georgia's quarterback.
You can go through.
Oh, so wait a minute. Are you telling me all the teams that made the playoffs, for the most part, their quarterback would not have been eligible to play?
I'm with you. And that's been my complaint with these quarterbacks. You guys have heard me go on rants about this over and over and over.
7:30 a.m. 103.9 FM. JOX Huntsville. This is the Off the Bench College Football Show. Real quick before we take a break, I saw this and this was awesome. So, College Football 27. This is the first year it's released on PC. Now, the beauty with PC is the modders will get in there and change stuff around.
That's awesome.
Instead of having the college football theme music in there, they changed it to CBS on SEC. And it is music to your ears. Unfortunately, I can't do it on console, but you can do it on PC. And it is awesome. It's music to your ears. 7:30 a.m., 103.9 FM. JOX Huntsville. We'll be right back. 7:30 a.m., 103.9 FM, Jocks Huntsville. This is the Off the Bench College Football Show. I'm your host, Kelsey Fine, co-host Richie Jones, sitting at my left, and producer Pops on the other side of the camera from us. Richie, you had a surprising and weird experience last week. I know you were.
It was Tuesday.
It was Tuesday. Okay, last Tuesday, and I was ultra surprised by it. We were off last weekend of Off the Bench. It was a 4th of July. But you had a good 4th of July out there. And then this surprised me later in the week of you actually do this. You were on formerly the Rick and Bubba show, now the Rick Burgess show.
Yeah, since I couldn't get tickets for the Travis Kelce Taylor Swift wedding,
Right, yeah.
I kept looking in my inbox. I checked the spam folder, didn't get an invite. So yeah, the Rick Burgess show. I mean, he's been doing radio for forever and a day. The Rick and Bubba show was 31 years. They're now in year 2 of the Rick Burgess show.
Yep.
They have a what they call the Vox seats. So they have literally a live audience 2 days a week, and you can get tickets and get to go and sit there. And I got to hang out and chit chat with them in the breaks, and got to give a shout out to my daughter because I completely forgot to say about anything else. They threw me off because I was wearing a shirt that says "I'm not arguing, I'm just explaining why I'm right." And when I walked up, because they let everybody that comes that wants to get on the mic, talk, ask a question, give a shout out and everything. And so they threw me off because they were asking about my shirt, and it just completely threw me off. And but yeah, it's actually a lot of fun. It's kind of cool to see like the #1 radio program in Alabama, and how they're ran and how their commercial breaks are and everything. And
shot to my heart right there. And I get I'm not
the #1 radio program in Alabama.
Good morning.
The Off the Bench college football show.
Shot to my heart right there. But I get it. It's okay.
We are bigger than them on Saturdays.
They don't do a show Saturday.
That was good. That was good, Rich.
So it was kind of cool to see. Maybe one day that will be us, and we can have a live studio audience that's not just Ray bringing burritos.
That's true.
Hopefully, I would take that though.
Absolutely, Ray. If you're listening, please bring burritos.
I would take that. Not today though, because we got 14 minutes.
It's a little hot out here for
burritos.
And we still have news to talk about with the 14 minutes we have remaining. So I'm going to start this up, and we're going to finish this on the other side before we end off for the show today. So the Pac-12, the new era, is upon us. Now, with that, the teams included are Boise State, Fresno State, Colorado State, San Diego State, Utah State, and Texas State. Now, we're in the All-State Conference. All-State should be their sponsor.
It really should
be.
All-State should be because they still have Oregon State and they have Washington State as well.
So all the state schools.
All the state schools.
How many?
On the West Coast.
That's what, 8?
I don't even remember now. You have Boise, Fresno, Colorado State, San Diego State, Utah, Texas State. You have not. I think you have
9,
10.
10. Okay.
I don't think they'd go.
Still not 12.
Still not 12. A Pac-10 returning.
Oh,
that's okay. I'd take an old Pac-10 logo.
I would too. Yeah.
I would too. Okay. So the question I'm going to lead with, and we're going to finish this on the other side. Does the Pac-12 still belong in the Power 5? Or are we continuing with the Big 4 in the group of 6?
No. Okay. That's my opinion. No, they do not. They're not a Power 5, big whatever. They're not.
They're not a Power 6.
Yeah.
The MAC is a better conference than they are.
7:30 a.m., 103.9 FM. Jocks Huntsville. This is the Off the Bench College Football Show. We'll be right back.
Give her a shout out, a birthday shout out.
7:30 a.m., 103.9 FM, Jocks Huntsville. This is the Off the Bench College Football Show. I'm your host, Kelsey Alpine, co-host Richard Jones, sitting to the left of me, and Pops on the opposite side of the camera to us. So we left off in the last segment. The Pac-12 is returning to relevance. Now, I didn't say they were a Power 5 team. Does Boise State have enough? Maybe San Diego State you could add in there as the same level as Boise State. Maybe not with recent success, but they're building their program up with money. A lot of money has been flowed into San Diego State to help that program. Okay? Boise State has the history. San Diego State has the money. Can both those teams drag them along enough to compete and become a Power 5 conference again?
There are 23 conferences broken up into 2 divisions, 10 what we would call FBS, and 13 FCS. I believe that the Pac-12 is currently 11th.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't see how you can ever call them a Power 5.
You attributed to them comparing them to the MAC.
Yeah,
according to this, is a developmental that they brought in Sacramento State.
According to the Google, the Pac-12 is currently considered one of the group of 6, which includes the American Athletic, Conference USA, Mid-American Conference, Mountain West, Sun Belt.
I'd like to look at the guidelines because I think the College Football Playoff Committee disagrees with Google.
That's okay. I don't care.
They had
I would take the MAC.
They had an amount of time to return to a certain amount of teams to consider themselves a conference, and once they return to that, I'm pretty sure they return to Power 5.
You know what?
The conference, the College Football Playoff Committee.
I tell you what, your beloved Kentucky could join the Pac-12 right now and might win the whole day.
They would win the whole thing. They have the best coach there. Maybe not over Boise State. Boise State head coaches.
It must be hot out here because you have lost all your common sense.
I don't think so. Mitchie for Heisman. That's what
Facebook
boys are going over there and saying on 3. Mitchie for Heisman.
Oh, yeah, Lord. Facebook real.
I
don't think Facebook is listening to you. I mean, we've been talking about this all morning. All of a sudden, I get this reel pop up.
I'm gonna tell you, the only
Facebook.
good thing that's gonna come out of Kentucky this year is that 21-year-old Four Roses that just got released.
All right, because we had also talked about this beforehand, and then I'm gonna make my pick for what Kentucky is gonna do this year.
Okay.
And it's July, so I have time to change this pick still. But
okay,
I'll lock it in right now.
Uh-huh.
The Pac-12 in a couple years is going to return a couple of teams, most notably the ACC teams. They're going to come back. The Stanfords, the Cals, they will be back. You were arguing about UCLA, where they would come back. Would they split from USC? I think they will. You don't think they will?
I don't think they legally can, because I think there's some sort of bill in California where they can't. And why would I take a $40 billion pay cut?
That's a fair thing to say. And
did you say billion with a B?
Yeah, that was with a B.
I would also argue that your Arizona and Colorado would return back to the Pac-12.
Oh, because Arizona wants to go play Utah State and San Diego State and not Arizona State and TCU and Baylor and Texas Tech and
about competing. All right, so here's my deal on Kentucky. They're going to flirt and come up short of the college football playoff.
Dude, you're smoking crack.
Flirt and come up short of the college
come up short playoff. Is like you lose a last-second game, and you're saying they're going to beat Florida. Then you're saying they're
going to be a top 25 ranked team.
I'm flirting with Sydney Sweeney, and I'm going to come up a little short of dating her.
Kentucky will be a top 25 ranked team at the end of the year.
Not a chance.
End of the year, not a chance. Their schedule's too tough.
Kentucky may not be a top 25 point team at any point during the season.
I completely disagree. I'm standing on 10 toes on this one. Kentucky is going to be a top 25 ranked team at the start of the season. At the end of the season.
No. Are you talking about going into the playoff, or like with playoffs done, set in stone, everything like?
Well, going into the playoff, they'll be ranked inside the top 25.
Too bad they don't have an MOU like Notre Dame does.
That is
guarantee a
playoff
berth.
MOU. 7:30 a.m. 103.9 FM. Jocks Huntsville. This has been the Off the Bench College Football Show. If you want to join us next week, you can. Same time, same place. 9 a.m. Central Time here in North Alabama. You can join us on either the YouTube side at Off the Bench CFB Show or Facebook at Off the Bench, and as well, of course, if you're local on the radio side. 7:30 a.m., 103.9 FM, Yox Huntsville.